about we combine nostalgia with comfort? Yes, I'm talking about Sloppy Joe Potato Casserole. With all of that being said, let's get to cooking. First thing we're going to add to our skillet is going to be our ground beef. All right, this is an 80-20% ground beef. You know I love my 80-20. To me, when you have that 20% fat, yes, at the end, of course, you have to drain the beef, right? A little extra step, but nevertheless, to me, it allows the meat to come out moist. Not to mention, I usually add a little bit of water during the cooking process as well to soften the meat up even more. If you want to use a leaner cut of meat, of course, you could definitely use a leaner cut. This is about a pound of ground beef. And you'd be surprised, it's going to stretch. All right, ground beef is perfectly cooked, as you can see. Looks like we're making bacon, right? Have a lot of excess oil in the pan. I'm just going to drop this paper towel in there and absorb some of the oil. Or if you want to literally drop the meat into a colander or strainer in order to strain it off, you could definitely do that as well. Whatever little bit of oil that's remaining, I'm going to leave that in there simply because I want to be able to, you know, sear my onions and bell peppers and that sort of stuff. All right, that looks good so far. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Add our perfectly diced onions. All right, if you want to use Vidalia onions, you could use Vidalia onions. If you want to use, let's say, white or yellow onions, you could definitely use that as well. Basically, use whatever you have on hand. You got that purple onion in the back of the refrigerator somewhere. Pull it out, chop it up, and add it to the mix. All right, let's cook these onions down until they become slightly see-through. All right, once they become translucent, then we are going to add our garlic and our other stuff. Next on up is going to be our finely chopped garlic. Allow the garlic to toast up and become fragrant. Once that happens, then we are going to incorporate it with our onions and ground beef. Next on up is going to be our bell peppers. And we're going to continue to cook the onions, garlic, and bell peppers for about 3 to 4 minutes until they soften up slightly. Give it a good mix. Let's add some water to deglaze. And also keep this meat nice and tender. I'm going to lower the flame as well to maintain that control. All right, let's add a pinch of salt and pepper, along with some smoked paprika. Add a good amount of smoked paprika. It's going to help with color and flavor as well. If you don't have smoked paprika, you're going to miss out on the smoky element, of course, but it's definitely going to help with the color. In the 1950s, 1960s, a lot of households after post-World War II used to enjoy Sloppy Joe. It was like a delicacy back then, you know what I mean? Times were hard. It's a budget-friendly recipe, so it's like, why not? And until today, people still love Sloppy Joe, whether it be on 2 buns or over mashed potatoes, right? I remember back then they would serve Sloppy Joe in schools, but now since they changed up the menu, it's like boring. I'm just gonna say what it is. I'm very straightforward. The school lunch menu is very boring, okay? Don't fix what doesn't need to be fixed. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, we're gonna add some ketchup. The ketchup is gonna give it somewhat of a sweet flavor. Combine the ketchup with the ground beef. Let's add some yellow mustard along with our Worcestershire sauce. The Worcestershire is going to give it even more flavor simply because Worcestershire is sweet, savory, and it has a slight salty flavor as well. Let's add some brown sugar. Give it a good mix. All right, I am going to lower the flame and allow our Sloppy Joe to simmer for about maybe 2 minutes because I want all of the flavors to intertwine with one another. For beautification, let's add some finely chopped parsley. Last but not least, we're going to add some chili flakes. Now here's the thing, right? You could add ground chili or just like what I'm doing, ground chili flakes, but you're not going to add too much. However, if you do have kids, don't add the chili. Skip out on the chili. But if you have a palate for spice, add as much chili as you want to add, okay? Make it nice and spicy. My kids are already big, so not to mention they're like in this era where they appreciate spice. So that's why I'm adding the chili flakes. And we are almost finished. We have our water boiling and ready to go. We're gonna add a good amount of salt to get the party started. Let's add some cubed potatoes. And I'm gonna allow the potatoes to cook for about 20 minutes until they're cooked all the way through, simply because we're gonna be mashing them once we're done. Back in action. As you can see, I got my bowl of potatoes and they are hot and ready to go. We're gonna mash our potatoes. While we're mashing our potatoes, let's add some butter because I want my potatoes to be nice and buttery. I find that the more butter you add, it's the more delicious it is. At least more creamy, you know what I'm saying? I allowed the potatoes to cook for about 20 minutes. When it comes to potatoes, you could allow it to cook for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, until they're nice and fork tender. And it will be an easy mash. Looking good so far. Let's season. I'm gonna add some salt and ground black pepper. Also gonna add some sour cream. If you don't want to add sour cream, you can leave it out, or you can add heavy cream. Don't pay attention to me. You could add cream cheese. Cream cheese will work perfectly fine. I know a lot of people, they say they don't really care for the cream cheese texture. Well, then give sour cream a try, because sour cream is less in calories in comparison to cream cheese. And if you don't like either or, just leave it out. Add whatever you want to add to make your potatoes taste absolutely delicious. I'm going to add some heavy cream. Now, here's the thing. If you want to add warm milk to your mashed potatoes, you can. However, I realize that it doesn't make a difference whether you add milk straight out of the refrigerator or if you heat it up. It's just a preference. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese. This is fresh Parmesan cheese that we're going to be grating to give it an extra boost of flavor. How do you like my little my little handheld apparatus, my little grater? It's just so cute. All right, that's good. Let's go ahead and combine the milk and the Parmesan cheese. Give it a quick taste. If you need to add a pinch more of maybe salt or even butter, or if you want to loosen things up just a bit and add some milk, you can definitely add that as well. This is going to be like making a shepherd's pie almost, all right? And you're going to see exactly what I mean. We're going to add the potatoes to the top. We have about one more scoop of mashed potatoes. All right, we're going to take the back of our spatula and we're going to smooth it out on top of our Sloppy Joe. We're just going to take this all in, okay? This is just one of those moments that you have to appreciate. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. You're going to add your favorite cheese blend. This is cheddar cheese and mozzarella. If you want to do, like, let's say maybe all mozzarella, you could definitely add all mozzarella, and vice versa. We're going to place this into our preheated 375-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until the cheese is perfectly melted and our potatoes become nice. You know, it gets those nice little crispy edges going on. I'm going to add some fresh parsley. It only took about 20 to 25 minutes, and as you can see, the cheese is perfectly melted. However, I am gonna allow it to sit out for about maybe 15 minutes to cool down just a bit before cutting into it. I gotta let you in on a little secret. I am starving, okay? Let's go. Look at all of those fluffy mashed potatoes. Check out the meat at the bottom. Yes, baby. See what we have here. Got some cheese pull going on. The only thing I have to say is give this recipe a try ASAP. You're gonna be Your palate is going to be blown away. Oh my goodness, absolutely melt in your mouth. Comfort food to say the least. This is a perfect meal, definitely for the fall weather as we approach. And my goodness, everything seasoned to perfection. You don't know, cookingwithtammy.shop is where you need to get your seasonings from. This is my seasoning line, and by the way, yes, I got you covered. We got the turkey and the chicken brine. We all know that turkey is a big thing during the time of year. Everybody's afraid. They don't know how their turkey is going to come out, whether or not if it's going to be juicy, tender, moist, but most importantly, flavorful as well. This right here is going to give you both flavor and juiciness along with tenderness. When I introduced this thing last year, it was sold out literally less than an hour. I want to say about 45 minutes, and when everything was done, I had to restock. Okay, this is our brine, and like I said, this is our seasoning line, cookingwithtammy.shop. And as always, I will definitely catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later. Bye guys.